US Air Force has been secretly building new technologies for fighter jets, and now the 6th generation of these planes is no longer a myth. Will Roper, former Assistant Secretary of the Air Force, was too revealing during his interviews, so now we know a little more than we probably should know about the project. Roper said that they had already built and tested in real world the 6th generation fighter jet, and that they had broken some records with it. The world still doesn't know the name of the future machine, but we have some information in how the US government may use the technology to firm its positions in the world politics. What's good in the 6th generation fighter jets? These planes will be faster than their ancestors. They will be manufactured with computerized technologies by machines only. And you won't be glad to expect any troubles when flying at the speed of 2,500 miles an hour. US Air Force made hints that it helped us reveal their partners. Boeing is believed to be the main company for production of the new generation fighter jet. They have already produced Boeing T-7 training jet using the same technologies that are needed to produce a new fighter. Although Lockheed Martin can also be the competitor for Boeing. They both have great experience in engineering aircraft for military purposes, and it's only about the production equipment, and here, Boeing may win. The 6th generation fighter jet will need a new engine, new type of fuel, new body shape. The 5th generation fighter jets are physically capable of flying faster, but their bodies aren't designed for that. Engineers will probably need to turn their attention to flying wing concepts. Unfortunately, the Air Force didn't tell journalists much about the project, but we believe it will be absolutely different from current generation of military jets. Here are some things that will be needed for agreeing that the new jet is a new generation. Its speed should be over 3,000 miles per hour, it should take less fuel and carry more weapons than the previous generation jet, it should be self-piloted to some point, it should include much more technologies than the previous generation plane. The Air Force has reportedly signed contract with Boeing, giving away $1.2 billion to produce several fighters with a lot of technical changes. You might think this will be a 6th generation fighter, but we believe these are just slightly modernized fighters for special purposes. What kind of technologies do we already have? Since 2013, DARPA has been working hard to introduce new technologies for the 6th generation fighter jet. Billions have been spent for this. A year ago, they estimated the new generation of military jets to appear by 2030, but military experts said that 2035 would be a more realistic guess. Why is it so hard to develop a new machine that will be much better than the older one? Well, military planes need a lot of testing. Up until 2020, we didn't know much about the program, but then the US Air Force announced that they already have the 6th generation fighter, and all other countries stood still when the news came out. Was it bluffing? Do we really have some new technology that will bring the US to air dominance before any other country can think of a next generation fighter plane? These are the questions only Air Force authorities can answer. All the projects are kept in secret. It's now only officially known that Boeing, Lockheed Martin, and Northrop Grumman are simultaneously working on different projects of the next generation fighter jet. No one can say anything about the technologies or any other details about the future jet. How will the US use the jet? It's quite simple to predict. If the US Air Force gets the 6th generation fighter jet before any other country can manage to start producing it, the USA gets air dominance and eternal power in any conflict. Is it good? Well, it means that the US can be involved in many conflicts. But let's remember that within the last 5 years, India, Russia, Japan, Germany, Sweden, the United Kingdom, Italy, France, China, and Taiwan announced that they are start working under the project of the 6th generation fighters. We highly doubt that the Chinese Air Force authorities will gladly cry at every corner about the success in this project, so they can easily present their 6th generation fighter jet in a year or two and change the game. Even if the world seems to be a calmer place now than it was 100 years ago, the military race hasn't stopped yet, and each day anyone can change the game by introducing their new technologies for military dominance. Let's hope these fighters will be used for parades and demonstration flights, but not for what they are originally created.